What's up, everyone? My name is Kendall Key, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here for the Recovering Meth podcast. All right, so in this episode, I have two special guests joining us. So we got Jordan and Justin, who are both on the journey of recovery, both coming from different backgrounds, different substances. All right, so Jordan, will you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jordan. I'm a meth addict, alcoholic, just about any kind of drug you put in front of me, I'll do it. And nice to meet you guys. What else?
All right, that's it. Well, Justin, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm a recovering meth addict, alcoholic, fentanyl addict, you name it, I've done it. And looking forward to talking to you guys.
Yeah, all right. So they're joining me on this episode. So today, we just want to get a different point of view as far as where they're at in their recovery. Hopefully shed some inspiration into all of you that are listening right now. All right, so Jordan, let's go ahead and start out with you. Could you give us a background about how, about where you've been, what brought you here?
In my addiction, it's taken me to many places I wish I would never have went, but I learned from them. I went to prison, did about 9.5 years because of my addiction to drugs. I wasn't ready to face it. I've been in plenty of treatment centers, and now I'm about 3 months and 4 days clean from everything. I'm doing pretty good. I relapsed a while back, and I picked myself up. I just call it a lapse because it wasn't a full binge using, but I seen that I was trying to numb myself instead of deal with reality, Like I was doing so good, but at the same time I still have issues that I wasn't confronting. And now I'm accepting those facts, things with family, that I gotta accept. I can't help everybody. I can only help myself. And just push forward and just keep learning. And I'm meeting a lot of great people. I'm taking classes, for anger management and learning more about myself. Learning how to have a sober birthday. My birthday just passed, and it was a wonderful weekend. Got to see family who is still supporting me, who see me go through ups and downs, and they want the best for me. So I do have some people in my corner when I feel like I didn't really have nobody. And, I just learned, take it one step at a time, one day. Just take everything in stride and stay positive because Creator has got a plan for me. I have a purpose, and He's putting little things in my life that is starting to open me up to accept more of my reality instead of trying to live in a fantasy land. We make everything like it's all great and it's not. And I realized that. But yeah.
All right, so then when it comes to your addiction, when would you say it started? Like, how old were you?
Shoot, man. I say it really started when I was 9.
And you said you just had a birthday. How old are you now?
32.
32. So from 9 years old to about 32 years old. That's a long time of substances.
Yup, a lot. It started off with weed and then advanced to alcohol and then stayed alcohol and weed and then it just grown, to trying all kinds of different drugs.
If there's anything that you would say looking back now that was the main cause as to why you picked up weed and moved on to different drugs, what would you say would it have been? Was there anything significant going on in your life,
It was just always at the house. So It was I was never taught to not, this is bad. It was accepted, So I just picked it up without really thinking about it. This is... I thought everybody smoked weed,
Yeah.
As a kid, and then not really having parental control.
Okay.
I could kind of do whatever I wanted, say what I wanted. But in certain, at school, I would act good, like a good kid. But then in other places, I would be different,
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, it's weird to grow up like that and then see other kids when you're little and then they don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And that's when I realized I was like, this ain't normal.
Yeah. At what age would you say you tried your first hard drug, like meth or fentanyl or heroin?
I would probably say 15, 14.
Okay.
That's when I started popping pills.
Okay.
Trying benzos and I think I had Percocets at the age. Just a lot of pill popping.
Okay.
And then psychedelics too, LSD, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then heroin didn't happen until I went to prison. I never touched heroin until I went to prison.
Okay.
And that was when I was 21, 22 when I first tried heroin. And I liked it.
Yeah. So then, fast forward up to when you came into treatment, what brought you here? Was there like a series of events? What was it like a rock bottom? Like what made you say, hey, you know what? I need help.
Well, before I came to treatment, I was already seeking help, and I went to a treatment center up in Prescott, and that worked. But at the same time, I was doing it with other people in mind instead of doing it for myself. And so, I did good, but I still had reservations that I was going to smoke weed again. I was going to drink. It was just not going to be like before. I had this all planned already set that I was going to do good, but I was still going to reward myself when I get to that point.
Yeah.
Think the addict mind thinking I could still control it and manage it, when slowly I went from having a job for 6-8 months to going back to an ex, binging with her, drinking, and just seeing it all crumble.
Oh, wow.
And knowing it was going to happen, but I couldn't stop it because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be back in prison. I'm going to be dead, and I'm just going to have to accept it. That's where I was.
I like that because you said something. Like you saw it all crumbling down and you knew where it was going to end up. But then I like what you said. You said, but I didn't want to stop it. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, that's the insanity of the addiction and just that vicious cycle. Like, you saw it. Like, you already knew everything. And then I loved what you said. Like, I didn't want to stop it.
I did it because I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit a different low. I'm probably going to be on the streets again. I don't know where I might end up. I don't know who I'm going to meet. I don't know. I just was lost again.
Yeah.
I felt like I lost my connection with Creator, with God. I just felt like he was just looking at me like, dang, you know what you're supposed to be doing, but why are you doing this to yourself? Trying to tell me you need to leave that person you're with because they're bringing you down. That person's not bad, but you guys were codependent. And I knew that going into a relationship, or she didn't know it, or she didn't want to know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew it, but I never done nothing about it.
Okay.
Because I loved her. And I was like, well, at least we're doing it together instead of hiding it from one another. Okay. And it was just bad.
Definitely.
Speed up to the day where when I came to rehab, and I was like, you know what? I want this. If I don't, now I'm on probation. And I talked to the courts like, look, I went to Prescott again to try to get help. And I told them I want to be in a program. And they let me be in a program, sent me CBI. And a lady who worked there talked about the place I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I've been here since.
Nice.
That's since February 16th.
All right.
Been here a minute. And I'm actually growing. I'm actually applying stuff and actually really learning.
Yeah.
You seen me coming, I was broken.
Definitely.
I was at a low spot. I was depressed. I was anxious more than anything. I didn't even trust my own instinct,
Yeah.
It was hard.
All right. Well, again, and you said a lot of things that I know anyone that is listening that is on the road to recovery can relate to. And if that didn't strike a nerve or you weren't like, hey, you know what, that sounds like me, then I'm going to tell you straight up, you're lying to yourself because there are some things that I heard in there that I could definitely relate to.
I'll tell you this. I fooled myself a lot into thinking I had it under control. I had nothing under control the whole time. Yeah. Maybe little things, but I have seen the drugs took effect of my life. They took so much a hold of me, I didn't even know my left from my right.
Definitely, yeah.
So don't fool yourself. If you're listening to this and you're hearing this and you're going through struggles, pick yourself up and do the right thing. What would God want for you? If you don't have a belief, you believe in something because you're alive. I'll say that.
Yep, definitely. Thank you, Jordan. You said a lot of great things right now. I want to jump over to Justin. Justin, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, when you started using.
Hi, my name is Justin. I started when I was about 7 years old. My first pickup on weed was about 6. I started really heavily using by the time I was 9. The first drug I took was meth. After meth, it went to fentanyl. Then it went to pill popping. Then to all that crazy stuff, you know, like heroin, LSD, PCP, you know, I kind of became addicted to everything. It was a little drastic change for me in my life, and I didn't quite understand at the moment. But looking at it now, you know, I really backtracked on everything I've been going through. And to see this drastic change in my life, you know, it really did show something that I wasn't aware of. I mean, a lot of people are going to say that they were aware of the situations, but were they really seeing the situation? You know, a lot of people are getting blinded by this, you know, they're like dyslexic from the situations that they don't know left from right. They don't know their colors or what they're doing, you know, their true selves aren't really showing. So there's so many things out there that I started when I was young, and I really regretted it. But now, you know, being the way I am now, you know, I came into this program looking for help because I didn't get the help I needed when I was out there in the streets. You know, trying to look for people, trying to find my support, you know, but all I found was just the drugs, you know. That was what cradled me through this whole entire thing. That's what trying to carry me up, you know, trying to make me feel motivated in things, you know. That's what really expressed my feelings out to people. And learning about that, you know, I just realized I was married to the drug. And being married to the drug for so long, you know, I couldn't figure out any way to go. I couldn't divorce it, you know. I couldn't even separate it from a time. You know, it's like I so deeply in love with that drug, I couldn't even figure it out. I was like a joker in the situation, just playing card games with it. Like I was just a wild card just playing out. And try to understand the whole situation I was in when I was just a little kid. I think it will backtrack to the time when I started getting bullied.
Okay.
Being bullied as a kid, you know, because of my height, because of my weight, because of my attitude, you know, being a full-blooded native and being joked about because I did not know my language. So I slowly started learning and going on about my tradition and trying to be something better than I'm not. But then I realized that all these battles I was facing as a kid and the poverty I was going through, being homeless and everything, digging through trash cans day and night for my brothers and sisters just to get some food, you know, wondering when restaurants are going to be throwing out their food, you know, I'll be waiting for those kind of moments. But then drastically changing it over time, I realized it was the drug that was giving me that motivation to change because it started damaging me more and more. Okay. And being more damaged in that situation, I think it was just like a little bit of a help.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, a lot of people can probably relate to what I'm saying right now. Like, even though it was a bad situation, it kind of helped you out to grow in your own life. And I think that's what everybody's looking for, is that growth. You know, you got to look at the bad things to make yourself grow too.
Definitely. That could definitely be, you know, you take a negative and turn it into a positive. You know, like if you have fear or whatever it may be, in your case, you know, you're you know, the way you grew up, you know, all of that, you turned it into fuel for your fire to make you want to change.
Oh, definitely. I mean, being in this kind of situation was a real drastic change in my measures, you know. I really uplifted myself from different situations, you know. I learned how to accept myself for what I was and what I became, becoming an addict. And becoming an addict was one thing, but learning how to live and cooperate with my own life and learning how to manifest my strides and my sanity, you know, that was a real game changer for me.
Amen.
And it was hard to manage, you know. I became unmanageable in my situation. I was thinking everything was going to be good, you know, like, all right, I could do this for a couple days and then maybe I can get back into my grind, you know, working and everything. And being in that solid line of work when I was working, you know, drugs was my choice. Alcohol was my cool down drug, you know, like, it made me relax, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
You know, and then by the end of the day, I'll be working so long, you know, I'll be like, reward myself with the beer, reward myself with a couple of shots, you know. But then in the end, I'll be so tired, I'll be trying to look for an upper. Okay. Trying to do something to wake me up to get ready for the next day for work. You
just
know
what
I mean?
Ride out a good feeling, right?
Yeah, just to ride it out.
To get you through your day.
You know, that's what I was doing constantly as I was working as I got older. But the most drastic change in my life was when I was about 17. When I started seeing an actual change, because I started realizing it's not normal.
Yeah.
I started realizing that everything I was going through was pushing out like all these bads, you know. I was trying to weigh the pros and cons, but the cons were actually beating me in this situation. Everything was taking a drastic turn. And by then, that's when I started seeing my brothers, my sisters, started seeing everybody slowly drifting away, you know, losing me. Because I was the shoulder that they were to cry on, you know.
Okay.
I was there for them, you know. Even though I wasn't the oldest in the family, you know, I still struggled just to make sure that they did good, you know. So through my addiction and stuff, you know, it helped them to be better. Now they're all sober.
All right, yeah.
And
then one thing is that now you're getting sober.
Yeah.
Now you've been sober. So then let me go ahead and ask you, you know, just because of, So then let me go ahead and ask you, now that you're sober, how long have you been sober?
Sober in 3 months and 4 days.
All right, amen to that. So then what type of advice would you give to someone who is beginning, you know, what type of advice would you give to someone who is wanting help but isn't getting the help that they need right now?
If you're looking for the help and you're not getting the help that you need, you gotta look within yourself. Pray on it, you know. Don't be looking away from the Creator, because He will tell you stories. It might come in different ways, you know. You might come from somebody saying, hey, are you doing good? Or, hey, you should get help. You know, every single kind of way there is that somebody gets told something, you know. People don't really listen to the small things, you know. Like, read between the lines. I mean, come on. Everybody's obvious. We can read. We can acknowledge everything that we're going through. So just keep striving, keep pushing. Don't hesitate. If you hesitate, you know, look for some peers, you know. Find yourself a soulmate or somebody that you can relate to. You don't have to be in a relationship with them to understand what you're going through.
Amen.
Somebody might be able to counteract the whole situation. I mean, being in that situation as a kid and growing up into this life, you know, I really understand the fact that the battle is not ever going to be won. It's the war that you're actually going to accomplish.
All right.
So people are going to go around, you know, stressing over stuff, you know, little things. I mean, I was doing that before too, but now I realize, you know, why stress?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, a lot of people are going to stress over nothing. And that's the pain that everybody goes through. So that's what causes them to relapse. That's what causes them to go on lapses. That's what causes them to binge out and just kind of like spaz out in their own situations.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any drastic change in that, you know, but that's just them. But coming from an addict, you know, I really do believe that faith can carry you a long ways. Like it says in Matthew 17:20, faith can move mountains.
Amen to that. Amen.
If faith can move mountains, so can patience move your life. A lot of people don't see it as a situation, you know. Maybe it can be a blessing. Maybe it can be from a simple, I love you. A simple, hey, are you doing good? You know, like somebody to motivate you along the way. You may not see it as a full outreach to you, but just the little words can actually push you to strive better.
Heck yes. Justin, I want to say thank you for sharing that. All right, so then Jordan, all right, before we close this episode, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone who is in recovery but thinking about going back out there and using?
You know, if you want to use, don't even do it. Go talk to a counselor, somebody you trust. You got to talk to somebody. You don't want to talk to somebody, talk to Creator. He's going to show you what's right. You don't ever give up. Just think about it. You're doing good right now. Give yourself that chance to keep growing. Give that chance for yourself to find your purpose, to just be happy, truly happy. Because you know the other route, you're going to be nothing but stuck in pain, misery, and sorrow. And saying, why me, when really right now you're doing so great. Yeah, today's hard. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. You're still alive. You're breathing. You got God. If you believe in God, pray to Him. Your higher power, whatever it may be. Don't give up on yourself because He's not giving up on you.
Amen
well,
to
I
that.
got it, sir.
Amen to
Amen.
that. You know, I have, again, Jordan with me and Justin, two very strong men that I've had the pleasure of being a part of their recovery journey and just watching them grow and taking, strides in their recovery and changing their lives around, which has been an absolute pleasure. So again, we have Jordan and Justin joining us for this episode of the Recovering Meth podcast. That's it, just because, a time issue right now. But, if you liked what you heard, and I know you had to have heard something that is going to motivate you and keep you on your journey, keep pushing forward, trust and believe that there is purpose behind everything that has taken place. You just haven't seen it yet. But hold tight, because you will, all right? So again, my name is Kendall Key. I am the creator of the Recovering Meth podcast. If you enjoyed having these two as a guest on the show, be sure to write some comments, be sure to share this episode. You can support the Recovery Meth podcast just by sharing it, all right? Share it on your social media. Again, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You guys have a good day. Stay blessed. May God bless you and all your family that you hold in your heart.
Amen.
Amen.